And you are watching ITV Gold, everyone, and I'm your host, Aditi Lamba. And right now, I'm joined by the Executive Director for Manavi, who is being honored at SALDEF today at their National Gala in Virginia. We have with us none other than Navneet. Kaur, Bhalla, thank you so much for giving us your time on ITV Gold. What a great platform to be at and to truly celebrate Sikh Americans and so much that they have, gained and earned over the years, and all the contributions that consistently, sort of add into this movement that we are talking about. Being a Sikh American woman and then being the executive director for Manavi, who needs no introduction for all of the work they've done over the years for South Asian women, to be honored for that specific category and that work as a Sikh woman in SALDEF, what did that moment feel for you, and what responsibility, perhaps, did you feel by getting that honor?
First of all, thank you to SALDEF. I am inspired by the work that SALDEF does. It's much needed and very important work. And Ravi and I are both very humbled and grateful for the support from SALDEF, but also from the Sikh community at large. This award for us, I think, symbolized what some of the basic concepts or tenets of Sikhism are. So in our daily lives, when we talk about, and when we have two children and we teach them about Sikhi and the basic values of Sikhism, and we talk about selfless service, seva, and we talk about Sarbat da Bhalla, they go to a Sunday school, and I have volunteered as a teacher there. So when I look back and think about some of the basic teachings of Sikhism, I think this award symbolizes that we, in a very small capacity, at a very basic level, have made some contribution to practice some of those basic concepts and basic tenets of Sikhi. And to us, I think it's important because this award isn't just something that's given to Ravi or me as individuals. I think it's something that elevates the Sikh community as a whole. And I think it's something for the next generation and our children in the future. For them, it's important to see that the way we are practicing our faith, and we want them to feel empowered.
I have to ask you, as a Sikh woman and as a South Asian woman, where do you think does now the role of Sikh Americans or South Asian American lie in sort of having this voice advocated right for women? And how important do you think an organization such as SALDEF is in order to sort of make sure that those voices are heard, and then certain voices are recognized, and as well as certain voices are helped? What's your comment on that?
I'm a big believer in collaboration. I'm a big believer that nothing can be achieved by a single individual or a single organization. And even within our organization, I'm a big proponent of the fact that we should never work in isolation. So whether it's me as a Sikh woman, as a South Asian woman, it's important that we ensure that we form these relationships. We collaborate with advocacy and social justice organizations like SALDEF and many others who do fundamental, important, inspiring work, because I think together and collectively we're able to have much more impact. And like I was saying earlier, that I think it's really important now more than ever for men to be engaged in the women's movement. As a parent, I would want to see my son be equally engaged and active in the women's movement. We went to a women's march. We have historically always been to a women's march together as a family.
Wow.
So we went to the one in DC the very first time, and I got my son and my daughter both to make signs, and my son was very proudly holding the sign saying, "I'm a feminist." But before that, we went and explained to him what that meant, what it means as a 7-year-old boy, and he was very proud. He was very proud to do that. We went with my in-laws, my husband, and our children. So it was 3 generations, and we have continued to do that because I think it's important for us now more than ever to step up, speak out, and take action.
Issues like getting gender respect completely and fully equal rights. Me Too movement, Time's Up movement definitely have picked up a lot. They have definitely brought in a lot more presence on organizations such as yours, such as Manavi, even SALDEF, in which you're talking about women's rights. You're talking about basic rights that are allowed to everyone. Especially with Manavi, when you're talking about domestic violence, you're talking about domestic abuse, with what these women are going through and what you are helping with. Question for you would be, to all the South Asian women, young women, especially, say, someone like me, how do you think someone like me should participate in this fight? And what are your hopes for the women that can help? What are your hopes that they should help in terms of helping Manavi or helping you just get that voice out?
I think it's really important to create a safe space. So there are various ways women can help. Women, people, anyone can help. So one would be whether you're part of an organization or not. The obvious basic way would be to volunteer. I cannot emphasize the value of volunteering for a nonprofit organization. And that can mean a whole range of things. If you are part of a media outlet where you feel you have a platform, to everyone who has a platform, my request is be responsible. Use that responsibility and that platform to elevate these voices. Elevate the voices of those who are unable to speak up. So that would be one ask. The other is forming partnerships, like I was saying earlier, forming collaborations. One other is referral. There's, to be honest, every conversation you have with somebody about gender-based violence, and also challenging people. There are many situations, whether it's places of worship, whether it's places of a social setting, where things are said, where you see a clear gender bias. Of course, you can be that person who doesn't speak out and doesn't speak up, or you could be somebody who challenges these statements and these beliefs. So I think I would request and urge everyone that now is the time for you to not only create a safe space, but to also make sure you have those conversations proactively, but also challenge stereotypes and where these statements are made, and advocate, whether you're as part of an advocacy organization or a media outlet or in a political arena, or someone who can even go at a local level to your board meetings, to your council meetings, to City Hall. There are various ways where you can ensure your voice is heard, and the most impact you can have is at a local level and at your doorstep.
One last question for you. What are your hopes for this year for Manavi? And also, what are your hopes for this year for SALDEF?
I think for both organizations, first of all, congratulations to Kiran Gill, because I am absolutely thrilled to see a Sikh woman lead SALDEF. So on a personal level, I would love to form more of a proactive collaboration with the organization. And I think it's really important for us to continue to uplift the voices. For Manavi, I would hope, and my vision would be to reach as many survivors as we can, and to ensure that we continue to not only continue to do the work we do, but also build upon it, and ensure that survivors feel empowered to be able to rebuild their lives.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.